All right, well, welcome to, I think this is the 14th stream. This series here, this playlist. All right, well, welcome to, I think. So yeah, 14th. I'm gonna be working on Kipos again, the budgeting app, and where I left off last stream was working on the dynamic fields in the new transaction form. So we'll pick up from there. So let's go open up the project here. All right. Okay, so yeah, I had created basically tossed out this was the original new template. Basically just doing away with that, start from scratch, and yeah, added some stuff to the helper. So let's take a look where we left off. So we can click in or out. Name, lock my one password here. You can select an icon picker. You can turn amount, set a category, and if it's not recurring, you get a payment date. If it is recurring, you get some more other options here. So, you know, the nice thing about all this is there's no JavaScript on this that I've used for any of this here. It's all TurboFrames. Now, if I remember correctly, so let's open her up. Let's go to new. I'm going to want to refactor this here. This page is getting pretty long, and I'd like to just kind of throw some things into partials, clean things up, make it easier to follow. We'll do that at the end. I want to get everything working, and then I'll probably do some refactoring here, and then we'll and get things in partials, and then make things look nice. Okay, so where do we leave off? So we got recurring. There's nothing more that needs to happen here. You have a payment date. If it's in, if it's out, you got payment date and due date. The due date you select, and then you choose how many days before. In, you just have the payment date, and I think we're gonna have to handle that because I don't think that's going to work. Let me see here. Let's open up our controller. Item controller to our create. So we have payment date is set by taking the due date and minusing the days off, so that we're actually storing the payment date as a date in the database. That just makes things simpler for rendering and calculations and things like that. Now, considering that I'm trying to think here, how do I want to do this? So we always want to have a payment date. You know what? Like what we'll do for this new items is we'll just set a due date and a payment date to the same thing, and to the same date. So like, for example, here, what I mean by that is when it's a in, we don't have payment date and due date. So we'll just select this, but we'll still probably just double up and save the due date as this. I mean, I could just set as a nil value. Yeah, if we're not using the due date, there's no sense in saving the due date. So let's just do that. Save due date as a nil value. So in that case, what do I want to do here? I want to, I think I have set this as a due date field, if I remember correctly. So if recurrent is present, and this is our due date. So yeah, we're showing paydays before. You know, So we're showing due date regardless. Don't need to do that. We need to only show due date, or yeah, due date if it is an out. So let's move this. Oopsie. To here. And so if it's in, we want payment date either way. No, we don't. Okay, so yeah, let's actually just handle this completely differently. So we'll do paydays before, and then actually we'll take a okay, I'm just trying to think through, because what I was thinking was I'll actually just, I mean, this is probably the way we want to do this, payment date, and then not show the due date on in. So we got due date here on out, that's good. Payment date, where we have paydays before. And then on out, we have we can get rid of this. We'll just go payment date. Have the payment date. Get rid of this. Now in here, I need to set a condition saying that we only do this if paydays before is present. So if I go, let's go like this. Let's go if params item paydays before is present. Then we do this. Otherwise, payment date is just payment date. Okay. I think that should work. Because if payment date does happen to pass through, but this is present, then this will still overwrite what was there. If this is not here, then we should be getting that parameter in here. So that should work, I think. Okay, that makes it a little easier to follow here. What's going on? Let's give it a try. So let's say paycheck. Let's say 1500. Category, paychecks, recurring, no. Payment date. Let's go tomorrow. Oh, I don't have a save button. All right. Need a save button. Okay, and then that should only show if all the required params are set, but I'm going to rewrite how we check for that, the more convenient method, because I don't like how having to do this and then, like for example here, where is it? Well, even just like for example here, we're sticking all these parameters in here. I don't like that a whole lot, so we'll clean that up. For now, let's just leave this here, get it working. So in, we'll go paycheck. And we'll go paychecks, no, payment date, first, create item. What happened there? So we got unpermitted params recurring. That would be expected. Did we save anything? Let's take a look. And our flash didn't show up until the next page, so we need to address that. Trying to remember how to get that to show properly when it's a render rather than a redirect. Let's go back here. Ideally, we'd want to like populate this again on an error so we don't lose the stuff that we put in. That's the point of rendering versus redirecting. Need to check. Okay, so turn my screen back on here. So we're gonna ask AI. So I can't remember off the top of my head. Say when an item fails to save, we're rendering new again, but the flash alert does not show because it's not a page reload. How can I fix this? So we need to render status on. Is that going to do it? Flash persists for the next request. Oh, flash now. Okay, that's the difference here. Yeah, and we'll add that status in there as well. So that's a good idea. Let's try it again with knowing that it's going to fail. So it still didn't. So it's likely because of TurboFrames. So let's say that did not work. Likely because we're using TurboFrames. No, I think there's an easier way. We can go data TurboFrame top, because we are not just updating these frames anyway. We're doing a full page reload. If it does work, we're going to actually redirect. So let's try this now. Did I save that? There we go. Paycheck. Let's refresh that. Paycheck. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. Now, ideally we're pre-populating these, but we can't really pre-populate that because these are set up as TurboFrame buttons. So that's one of the drawbacks to doing it this way. Now, there might be a way we can get this to work where we persist the field values on an error. So we pre-populate those again. But again, I will address that in a bit rather than right now. So what is the error? Why aren't we saving here? Let's do this. Record invalid, validation failed, name can't be blank, amount can't be blank, due date can't be blank. It's odd. Okay. All right, let's go debugger. Try that again. In paycheck. Great item. Check it out. Okay, so params. Yeah, so our name is blank. Why is our name coming in blank? Icon is correct. Have I just labeled these fields incorrectly here? Text field name. says our amount is missing as well. I wonder if this has something to do with TurboFrames. What our category was that showing up? Category ID was blank as well. So we're not getting any of the previously set values after hitting recurring is what I think is what is happening here. Probably because it's reloading. Yeah, it's likely reloading the entire form. Okay, let's get rid of this debugger for a second here. So we go in, blah, 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 blah. Hit that. Oh, it is disappearing when I click it. Okay. So I just didn't notice that. Okay, so we'll probably want to break these into separate TurboFrames. So let's do that. So let's go. So all of our fields that are using a button here. Let's go to the top. Let's go button. It's our first one. We can do that. Might as well. Let's go turbo frame tag. Go form, and then we'll go direction. So make sure that still works. It's not working. We're gonna have to go turbo frame and we'll go form. Okay. Now, I think the problem with doing this with separate frames means that if we maybe not. I was thinking that it's going to mean that we have to manage which ones we're reloading, but I think okay, we'll leave that, and then let's see if we can do icon. Yeah, so the icon is not dynamic. So basically, any of the fields that are dynamic, or I should say, set up other dynamic fields, conditional fields. Any of those buttons would need to target the form. So let's go through this and see what we need to do here. So if I do this one, icon would not have any effect on anything else. So we can go turbo frame tag form and go icon. Now our dynamic fields down here would need to target the entire field form, or just all dependent fields. So in that case, I could wrap this in a frame and go form and just go payment. Payment fields, or date fields probably makes a little more sense. Let's see if that's going to work here. If I go recurring, no. Yeah, we're still getting it. Need to fix this because we're now losing our flex column. Alright, so let's see if this works like this. If it retains our values here. So if I go paycheck, set the icon, didn't lose anything there. Do our category and click recurring. So we're still retaining our values we've set. And create item. Didn't look like it worked there. No. Due date can be blank. Oh, okay. You know what? So let's go change that validation. Payment date will always need to be present, but not the due date. Actually, we can go. I think we can go if due date, no, if direction, if in, oh, if out. Not sure if that's valid syntax. Is this valid syntax for a validation plot? Let me know here. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see if that now lets us in paycheck. If you're wondering why I'm spelling paycheck like that, it's because I'm Canadian. Create item. Okay, so our payment date is showing up. Item. Okay, so I need to make a condition where if due date isn't provided, and that's on our actual item show view. So where is our due date here? Due date. So let's just go like this. Actually, let's go like this. We'll say, oops. Wrap that. These, and we'll say if item is out. So only show our due date if item is out. We need another bracket there. We also need to go, no, that's not gonna work. We need to go with this. This bracket on the outside. So attempted to redirect us to item 16. That was what we just created. Payment date is the 1st. That's good. Paychecks, unpaid. Categories there. All right, everything looks good there. Let's try another one. I don't have a way to delete these yet. I'll have to do that too. Back. All right, so we have an error on our index as well. Same idea. So we'll fix that. Do date. It's going to be in our partial. Oh, it's going to do today. All right, that's actually an issue because this should actually be payment today. So we're looking at due dates there. We should be looking at payment dates. All right, so I think those are the two occurrences of that. Let's go change this to say payment today, payment tomorrow. So we're dealing with payment dates, not due dates for these dates. This should also be payment tomorrow. Payment tomorrow. Okay, now I need to go adjust that in the controller. Payment tomorrow. Payment tomorrow. Payment today. Payment today. We're still looking at due date in these methods. So this needs to be payment date. This needs to be payment date. There we go. All right. Okay, let's get back to where we were here. Now, we're checking if we can create another one of these. Let's try again. Let's go in. Let's go paycheck 2. Let's go like that. Let's go paychecks recurring. No, and a payment date of tomorrow again. Create item. All right, we got it. Good. And let's see if we're showing up in the index correctly. Good. All right, so we can create an in item. Let's create an out. Okay, so that didn't work. So go in, out does not. So let's fix that. That would be because we're not targeting the right TurboFrame. Copy this, paste that. Refresh. There we go. Now let's say cell phone. $80. Bills, recurring. No, we get due date and payment date. Let's go second and we'll say pay 2 days before. Go create item. Okay, now we're not seeing our due date. We're getting payment date correct here. If I edit this, looks like we're not getting that. So let's confirm what is being saved there. Go RC and go item.last. And we have a due date, we do, and we also have a payment date there. So it's an issue with our condition to show. So let's go over to item show and let's go to our due date. So that should be showing. It is an item out, is it not? Let's see. Item is out. Oh, and I'm just missing. That. There we go. Go to our index. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cell phone's there. Okay, good. So that's working. So out is working as well. Let's now take a look at our recurring stuff here. So if I go yes, so let's go. You know, I'm gonna delete all the existing items here so we can start fresh items, all item.destroy all. Now we should be blank. Good. So plus, we'll go paycheck. Let's go there. Let's say paychecks. Let's go recurring. Let's go. Now, yeah, this won't be working at all actually because we're not handling this at all in our controller. So let's go do that. Let's go to our item controller. And what we're going to do is say create series if recurring. And then we'll go create series if recurring. And we'll go series dot create. And I want to actually confirm that I do have a series in here. Yeah, we do. Okay, good. Now, actually, I need that to open it in here. Let's go back to our schema. So we need not actually passing the series through here. So let's just do this. So let's go. I mean, how do I want to do this? I can set up a method in our model, our item model, to create a series for it. Or I can do it here in the controller. I think I prefer in the model. I can go create series. And you know what? It will have to be done before the item is saved, so that we have a series ID we can give to the item. So let's go and say series.create params series params. What do we need here? We need a name, series params name. We need direction, series params direction. We need frequency. Due day. You know, in my pre-existing versions of Kippos, I used a due day, but I don't think I want to do that. What do I want to do? Okay, so this is the issues here. When you have a date, a payment date that's like the last of the month, for example, like say you have an item that is due on the 31st of January. Okay, so with Rails we can go, so say this is our date, and we go date.parse January 31st 2025. All right, so we have a date object now, and we can go date plus 1 month. And this method here is a Rails method that lets us just, it's smart enough to know that we can go, is it a Rails or is it a Ruby method? But anyway, what it will output to is February 28th, 2025. Unless, of course, it's a leap year, in which case it would figure out that it needs to be the 29th, and then so on, right? It'll add it. Now, if I'm setting up a series, recurring series, and it's just basing the next payment date off of the previous month, if we do this again here, so if we go like this, we go date equals this, then this next one is going to be March 28th, which is not what we want. It would need to be the last day of March. So that's why I use the payment, the what I call it, the due day rather than the we could just look at the last, the first occurrence, but then you have to figure out how many months. Like, just gets awkward. I mean, if you could grab the day from there, it would save us from having to grab having an actual due day column. Yeah, like that might actually be simpler. Or save. It's not necessarily simpler. I wouldn't say it's more complex in any way, but it just saves from having to have a kind of a redundant value here. Although, is it really redundant? It's not really. And you know what? There are situations too when I use my kind of like version 1 of this app where I actually change. So like, let's say I have a bill that's due on the 31st. But I pay it maybe a day early, or maybe paid a day late. And I end up going into Kipos and just changing the date so that it reflects the day that I actually paid it. So that would screw everything up. So I think we do need the due day. So we'll use that. Now, okay, let's go and create it, and then because actually in my original version, Kipos 2, I would have an actual a day selector, so you'd pick like a number, or you'd say like last day of the month. I don't think that's necessary. I think you can derive that from the original, from the first payment date, the first occurrence. So that's what we'll do. We'll go due day, and then we'll go series params. We're going first. Oh no, we're going payment date. No. See, we actually even have a paydays before column here. Decisions. Okay. Let's take a step back here, I think. Now, is the way I had previously implemented it, is it the best way to do this? Or is there a better way to do it right now? Is the question. Okay, so paydays before. we're saving paydays before here as well. Yeah, it shouldn't be paydays before. It should be a payday as well, rather than a due date. We want to follow the same patterns we're using in items. Okay. So let's do a migration here, and let's go. All right, let's say write me a migration to change the series table, change column, pay days before integer to a date. And change the name of the column to pay day. Now, the reason I have due day as a string is because, I want to be able to specify if it's the last day of the month this bill is being paid. Which I could still do with an integer. I could just set, like, if it's the last day of the month, I could set it to 32. That way, if it's 32, I just know it's the last day of the month. I kind of like that better than having a string. It even says like 99 or something like that to make it more clear. Or just 32. Music stopped. Oh. I don't know. If anyone has a comment on this, let me know. I'm going to go with... Alright, we're going to change it to... I'm going to change due date to a integer as well. Write me a migration to change the series table, change column paydays before integer. We're not going to change it to a date. We're just going to change the name of the column. Still wants to be an integer. Change column paydays before name to payday. And do the same for due. Change column due day, which is a string, to an integer. Is there anything else? You want our first occurrence to be a date. That's correct. Frequency would be a string, yes. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Thank you, AI, for doing me the up and the down. Good. Rails. Let's grab this here. Let's head over to our new migration series. Delete. This. Paste. Let's confirm. Rename column series paydays before to payday. Yes. Remove column. Okay, we're removing it and we're adding it. That's fine because we don't have any data in there anyway. Yeah, that's odd. I'm gonna say, so it chose to remove the column rather than just changing it for the sake of reversibility. Like, reversibility is more important than retaining data. Well, I guess the data wouldn't be retained anyway because it's a completely different. I don't know. That seems like a weird way to do it. We don't have any data, so it works. I suppose if you're changing the type anyway, it's going to remove the data, so that's fine. All right, so we're removing column series and adding column series to as due date. No, due day. Due day. Did I write due date? I did write due date, so that was my fault. I'm always very suspect of the AI. It can be an idiot, but I guess so can I. All right, due day, payday. Let's run that. RDM, my Rails DB migrate alias, and there we go. Okay, now back to our item model. Get rid of these guys. Now we're gonna have to do some stuff here. So our due day, based on our first occurrence. Due day, excuse me, series params. First occurrence, and I need to grab the day of month. Day of month. I don't think that's a valid method. Fix this for me, AI. Okay, just day. Close. So we're gonna need to go date.parse. Did you know how to do that? Yeah, I did know how to do that. Okay. See, it said you're gonna have to parse it. Then we'll go here and go due day. Oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. We have first occurrence, but it's not specifying if it's payment date. Ah, gee. Alright. Well, okay, that's not. Let's head over to our controller, item controller. So what we're going to just pass in, we'll say Yeah, no, let's just do it all in here. So we're just going to pass in the item params. Say initial item params. So let's go series params. Series params. My initial. I have this backwards. Backwards. Was right. Ah. So we go. It would have been faster if I just manually did this. Series params. But I guess it's good practice. Get the muscle memory. Okay, so we're going initial item params. There we go. And then we'll go payday. Put you first. I need to specify. Let's go payment. To rework this a little bit. Because, whoops. Payment date. Yeah, so we have payment date, which is form field payment date. So I'm actually not even showing first occurrence, so we actually need to add that into this. It shouldn't be payment, it should be first occurrence payment date. Payment date's fine though. You know what? I think I'm going about this all wrong to begin with. I think I should be creating a series here and then create the items off the series rather than doing it this way. Now, this is the only problem with like essentially I think like it should almost be going to a completely different controller, to a series controller. That would make a lot more sense. A lot more sense. So if I do that, what would we need to do here? So like, should I be asking if it's recurring way up top so we can re-render the form as a series form? Man. And then that kind of brings up the question is, should there be a series at all, or should we just be recurring off of the item? But then you have the issues that we were talking about earlier. We could add the series fields to the item. Don't think I liked that though, because if we don't have a series record that an item is associated to, but it is a series, it is like a series, a recurring item. So you could say item is recurring, have a column for recurring. it would make this part easier not having a series. But I want to also be able to like open up an item if it's part of a series, click view series, and then just show all the items associated with it. Which you could do having recurring items. I don't think it's quite as clean. Okay, so I think we go with a series. We keep the idea of having the series, but instead of doing it the way we're doing here, I think we need to like change this form to be a series form. What does that change? It doesn't change anything above. All it's changing is changing the path that we end up submitting this form to. Because then when we submit to a series controller, we can, in that controller, just use regular, our strong parameters and handle that properly. Cleaner, it's separate, it's very clear what's happening. I guess the question is, when I click recurring, yes, do I want to basically render a new form just pre-filled? I could just do that. Then it's like, we just ask recurring at the top, and that kind of just takes care of all our questions here. We can actually have a separate, just a separate new page, a new template altogether here. That's called series new, and it just takes us right there. That probably actually takes a lot of the messiness out of this. That, I think, makes more sense. All right, so let's do that. I don't really want to do that, but I think it's the way to go. Okay. Let's do it. Get rid of this altogether now. I didn't love having that part of the item anyway, so I like that better. Series. I need to go to item, new. Essentially what we're going to do. We have a series controller yet? No. So let's create that. So RC Rails generate controller series. Let's head over to series. Let's create a new HTML.erb. Let's grab basically everything actually. Let's just grab the whole page. Okay. What we can do is get rid of, we want to keep our payment and due dates here. grab you, stick you under category. Let's go grab our due date as well. Where are you, due date? You're right here. Want this. Actually, we want all that to stay. Okay, so what was it again? If it's out, you want the due date and the payment date. If it's not out, you just want payment date. Like that. All right, and then we can get rid of these because we're not going to deal with any recurring stuff. Here. Okay. Actually need those buttons for recurring. Top. So grab this. Get rid of that hidden field. That. Stick this up here. Put that first. And if it's yes, what we'll actually do is we'll go to new series path. That will be an actual link that changes our page. So we'll go this and say change in here to top. See if that works. Yes, we go to new series. Good. So no, we stay here. Yes, we leave. Okay. And you know what? We probably should just go add this to our series so that we can come back if we want. And this will do nothing. Should just be something like this, something like that. The same thing here, actually. we can't, it's not accidentally clickable. But it should be green. We won't even need this anymore, actually. Alright, I'm going to call it quits right after this because I want to go game some NHL. We're not switching back. Let's go here. We need to make this. Okay, so we should be able to go back and forth now. To new item, new series, new item, new series. Okay. All right, good. We're changing the path at the top. Good. Okay. Series, yes. We'll need to fix that because it's changing its color here. Why is it changing its color? Like, I don't have a background color of this. Why is that happening? Oh, because it's going back to the new item path. Okay. Alright, so I gotta change all those to... let's do a quick search and replace. Go new item path. Did I get that backwards again? New item path. Now it should be new series path. Let's go with this. Confirm it. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Did I change the one at the top? I don't think. Yeah, I did. I shouldn't have done that. So this one should be item. All right, so we go no, we go yes. All right, so we don't have the controller set up, so that's why we're in that error. I'm done for tonight. You know, it kind of feels like it didn't get that far, but I think this was probably an important change to just simplify this whole item creation, because things were getting like I didn't like having so much going on in here. Usually when you have something like that going on where there's, you know, like complexity is just kind of exponentially increasing, there's usually a better approach. I think this is probably it. I hope that the flow is still as good. You know, choosing recurring first, I think that's fine. I think that's really the only thing that makes a difference here. You know, when you're creating an item, you probably know right off the bat if it's going to be recurring or not. And if you don't know, well, you're going to be asked and you decide at that point. So I think that works. I think that makes sense. And then, yeah, it'll just allow us to clean up this stuff. And I can clean this up more here too with these conditions here. That's going to be better. This will be much more simple. Series will be much more simple. And then when we create the series, we're not having to do this awkward thing where we're creating a series from an items controller. We're going to go and create a series. And then what I'll do is I'll probably create a callback, possibly a callback, or maybe just a method in the items controller that says, hey, when a series is created, go create the items for that series. So that those, like, what I'll do is I'll probably set, if it's a monthly series, then it'll go create the items for that, the first 12 items. So you get a year of items created as soon as you create that. If it's like weekly, then same idea. You'll get a year of those items. So you get 52 items created. And that way you have that forecast functionality working. All right, I think this was the way to go. That's going to be it for tonight. Might be back at her tomorrow. Haven't been able to stream as much lately, but hoping to get rolling on that again. Try and get this project wrapped up. I have some other things I want to start working on. And yeah, I've been thinking through, like, one thing with now that I'm streaming here is I don't have it, like, I have to have both Twitch and YouTube open to see the chats. I don't really like the setup. I don't know if there's other stuff out there. I'm thinking maybe I'll try my hand at creating something there. I have a couple other project ideas. I want to do an open source notes app, kind of like following off inspiration of like Rome research or Obsidian. I want to build in Rails, and yeah, it would be something that can like be installed on your own server, your own home server. So that's an idea as well. But yeah, we'll get through this and tackle some next projects. Actually, before I go to the next project, I think I need to create a video on my NeoVim config and stuff like that, because I've had a few people asking about that. And yeah, we'll get to that pretty soon, hopefully anyway. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.